Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. We've got another double header for you, this time with the SU-85, which is the Tier 5 Soviet TD. It's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and this one is under the command of Fixing Stupid. Yes, it's my NA account. This is the tank destroyer based on the T-34-85. Now, it's armed with the 85mm gun, but instead of having a turret, it's just got a casement which surrounds the gun. And, well, it's actually quite a good idea to actually then take a proven hull that actually worked and they could manufacture quickly and then put them into tank destroyers. Of course, this was one step on the road to getting the SU-100. Because, of course, the SU-100... 100mm gun, and then eventually the 122mm gun, which is incredibly powerful. Anyway, the SU-85 with the 85mm gun is capable of doing 180 alpha, the same as the T-34-85. Got penetration of 144 with standard rounds, and with the APCR that goes up to 194. Now on Prokhorovka, when I'm on south, I like to go to this corner here and knock the tree down. In fact, I tend to knock down both trees. And I pull back to use the bush mechanic. Now, that enemy tank there, the T-28, appears to be just over the other side of the ridgeline. Am I going to move? Yes, I'm just moving back a bit. Normally I knock both trees over, but you can see I can use the bush mechanic here, and I'm double bushed. First shot on the T-28's a hit. Go for that ELC. No, that went over the top of him. Now, as I said, this is a double header video. We've got another SU-85 game, and these games were both played on the same day in October. As I'll ask at the end as a question, which of them was played first? Okay, no targets in sight yet. I'm waiting for my BT-7 that's on the main road to actually pop up, see if he can find some. And then I'll start taking them down. It's a tier 6 game, so I'm tier 5 tank destroyer. I'm going to do better than the tier 6 tanks. Oh, BT-7 just got hit, and in fact he's found an OI, but I've got no outline on him, and unfortunately we lost the BT-7 to their Striv M42. Finally getting an outline. One went right through the turret of the OI, and now I've got the whole broadside of the tank. But I can't see him because we've lost sight, but we know where he is. He's in way up the road, almost half the map away. And because I've lost my spotter, I'm basically now not able to do anything. Okay, our KV2's moved up a little. There he is. And the ELC, that enemy ELC is on the other side of the ridgeline. But here comes the OI. First shot doesn't go through, but he's now giving me his side. KV2 just put a round into him. I've just put another round in as well. Pulling back to use the bush mechanic. He didn't see me anyway. Sixth sense didn't go off. I've tracked him as well. And there you go. The kill shot goes in from the T40. So we're now ahead of the enemy. Still early on in the battle though. You can see I'm just on the edge of using the bush mechanic down here in the south. I found that if you actually go slightly up the slope, it's much more difficult for the enemy to spot you because you're not on the conventional line. Okay, into the bush mechanic again we go. Here's the Matilda. First shot in, 175 low roll, but it's a big hit for a Matilda. This is the second hit. Yeah, he's not liking it now. He's almost out the game. And there he goes. So that's my first kill. And he never saw where I was. Looking around for another target. We're now one tank down, actually. It's not so good. We've been losing tanks elsewhere on the map. I think over on the hill. We also lost the KV2. So what we've got now on this side is a T-78, which is, as you know, is an American premium tank destroyer. turreted tank destroyer, and a T-40, which is an American tank destroyer based on the M3 hull. that never actually got built. Well, rather, it was they built prototypes, but they never actually mass-produced them. Although originally, funnily enough, they did actually put in an order. We just saw a tree go down, so there's somebody up there coming south. So we need just get ready as soon as they appear. Can see whereabouts they are. It's about 250 yards ahead of us at this moment, given the grid squares are about 100 yards supposedly. Yeah, the enemy's pushing on the right side of the map, unfortunately. Yeah, they're reluctant to push, but our guys are doing the same basically. So there are Arty in the game. There's 3 Arty either side. The enemy team's got an M44 and 2 Fifis. We've got an M44, a Fifi, and an M41 HMC. Still nothing. Now I could go all Rambo and try and charge the enemy down. Basically, some of the Russian tank destroyers were basically like assault tanks in a sense, a bit like the British tank destroyer line, but they are vulnerable. And you don't want to let the enemy get behind you. Of course, the armour on Russian tank destroyers, again, it's not hugely thick. Not like the British ones. And well, I think we can see that AMX CLC has done an end run, which is something I would normally do. And this is compromising my position, because whilst he's there, I can't really be not RT safe, but I can't be safe from being spotted. And it looks like he's got well behind the T40. We lost the T78. And now I'm going to have to move to these bushes if I'm going to take on that ELC and get rid of him. And another enemy's turned up. We've got a Hetzer coming in. And there goes our T40. Taken out by the IKV-65 too, but I can easily punch through the armour. Okay, where's the ELC? There he is. No, I locked onto him there. There he is. Yeah, one shot's all I need. He was going slowly enough for me to auto-aim onto him. I wouldn't recommend auto-aiming on them though if they are moving fast, because you're probably not going to hit them unless they're coming straight towards you. Okay, going back to this position again. Here comes the enemy. One shot's all it takes for the Hetzer. He was badly damaged already. And well, we're now 2 tanks down on the enemy. And although I was thinking about going back to those bushes, I actually moved up so I had the Rex between me and the enemy. Now I was fairly convinced that the main enemy opposition I've got up this road is that IKV-65-2. We can see that there's 3 tank destroyers, or rather 2 tank destroyers over on the other side of the railway line, and a Striv M42 getting close to our cap area. And I turn on sideways here to try and engage him. I auto-aim on, not a good idea. That's better. And there's another kill. 4 kills now. But we're still behind. 2 tanks behind. And I still think there's an IKV-65-2 somewhere up ahead of me. Now I knocked a tree over there, which obviously will give him the alert that something's coming his way. And here he is. Hello. Yeah, this IKV hits me with a 90mm round. But I hit him back with an 85 faster than he can load. And that's him out the game. And then the M44 chimes in. and I get smacked for 155. But now I'm moving. The scores are now equal, but the enemy's only got 1 tank destroyer and 3 Arty. And we've got 1 Arty, 1 tank destroyer, me, and 2 mediums. So we've got the advantage now because we've got the mobility. As I said before, they've got 2 Fifis, an M44. Now I auto aim on, bad mistake. And now the M44 turning to engage me. And yes, very well played by the M44 player. He turned, snapshotted me, and got me out the game. So that was rather unfortunate. But that was predictable in a sense, because really I was fairly obvious to him. He could see me, and obviously therefore he could take me out. And obviously I was going up against several Arty at the same time. Even if the M44 didn't get me, one of the others was. And of course I'd taken a lot of damage from the IKV when I came across him. So it's now down to my teammates, which are now 2 medium tanks, the T28 and the Cromwell, versus an M8A1 Scott, who's over on the other side of the battlefield. And unfortunately I hadn't actually switched over. Always like to see the action going on, and sometimes I forget to press the button. But you can see on the minimap that the Cromwell and the T28 have cleared the battlefield on the east side of the map, and they're now heading towards the railway line, and they're going to look for the Arty and take them out. Now you can also see something else. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see there's a tick next to the high caliber symbol, which means I actually earned 20% of the enemy hit pool in total. So potentially I'm on for high caliber. Potentially. Not guaranteed. It all depends on if somebody else also managed to get 20%, and therefore they could get it instead of me if they've got more hit points, or if they did no damage to their team. The Cromwell and the T28 are now crossing the battlefield to find the Fifi and the M44s. And well, there's only the 2 left now, the M44 and the Fifi, because the other one has been killed. And all it's necessary for the Cromwell to find the enemy Arty, because we've got a Fifi on our team. He's moving up towards the centre. Oh, and he's been hit. And he's found the Fifi just a short distance ahead of me. You can see there. He's turned, he's facing the Cromwell, who's desperately trying to manoeuvre to avoid being hit. But there you go. Now, and the M44 gets involved as well. There he is. He's coming back into the game. And the Fifi does kill the Cromwell. But, of course, now he's facing an Arty and a T28. And we know where they are. And the M44 tries to get away. But the T28 is up near the cap area. Unfortunately, he doesn't appear to be quite as experienced. So you think with 2 minutes to go, they cap. In fact, people are now saying cap, cap. They're saying get in the cap, and the T28's done it. He's in the cap. Now the problem with the Fifi is he's got a view range of 390 meters, so he could actually look to see where the T28 is in the cap and allow the M44 to get the resets. And it all depends on that T28 staying in cover so that he can't be shot at. And you can see from here that he is actually trying to move. In fact, he's now come out of the cap just after the M44 tried to get a reset, and he's headed over to the west side. And it's too late now for him to cap out. And I think people are a bit worried that we're going to lose the game, because if they don't find the enemy Arty, then it's going to be a draw. And there's the enemy Fifi. Now we just need our Fifi to do the job, finish him off, and then we've got to find the... Yeah, there's the kill shot from our Fifi getting the kill. But we've now got less than a minute for the T28 to find the M44. And he's found him. He didn't move far enough away. He should have been down the other end of the map by now. And unfortunately, he is now going to get taken out. And there you go. It's a win. A big mistake by the M44. He should have run south as fast as he could to get out of the way of the T28, so he would have forced a draw at the very least. And here's the next battle in the SU-85. And you can see I'm on the west spawn of Westfield, and yes, we've got that problem with the replays where they're not giving us any sound for the vehicles for the first minute or so. You can hear me destroying the scenery, but you just can't hear the engine of the motor. Okay, well, in this battle, I'm doing what I usually do actually on Westfield maps if I'm in a TD, is actually head towards the valley, because I'm much more used in this direction, and I can always turn around to actually deal with the heavies if the heavies defeat our guys. From this position, I've actually got shots on the valley, and specifically I can see where the enemy tanks normally form up when they're opposing our guys, our mediums. You normally go up into those bushes to have a quick peek and then pop down again. I'm hoping I can give them an 85mm surprise when they pop up. I'm also far enough away that they probably can't see me. Oh, missed that one on Site 58. Surprisingly, he didn't push forward. He actually pulled back. But I've got him again. And this time round, don't mistake it. And it's a low roll. 171. That one looks like it was a clean miss. But I can see where he is on the minimap, because he's in sight of my teammates. He's just outside my render range. I guess that's the one problem with this position as such, is that some of the corner is outside render range, so you really can't help your teammates if the enemy does go behind the hill in the southeast corner of the map, but you can get good shots on the enemy if they're trying to defend along the edge of the valley. And yes, one of the enemies turned up, and it's a Rudy, the Polish Rudy. It's T-34-85. Oh, and another tank just popped up, but I think, yes, there he is, and that's a Valiant. And that shot went well low, and I'm not going to get another shot on him for the moment. 5.63 is the load time, but it is an 85mm round, which is a big round. No sight other than that. Yeah, that round went right towards the edge of the reticule. It dropped. It was aimed on the target, but just didn't want to go there. Still waiting. That BK's getting very close. He's done the sneaky thing, which is what I sometimes do as well. You can do an end run around the enemy and come up behind them, or just highlight where they are to your teammates by getting close enough so that they have to respond and come around the corner to either deal with you, which is what the BK is doing. And that means that puts them all in a tiz, because suddenly they realise there's an enemy tank very, very close and they're being illuminated for Arty. Looks like Arty's having a bit of fun, because that Rudy just went down. He was taken out by the heavy tank number 6 though, but he was stunned at the time, so looks like our Arty is doing well. Now, just over here, I notice I've got my opposition. M10 RBFM put a round into him. Am I going to reload in time? No, because I don't need to. The M44 does it for me. Oh, nice snapshot on the T52, who's doing the end run, which obviously can work in the opposite direction as well. Another round into him. And he's trying to come up behind our guys. Lost sight of him, but there's the Valiant. Somewhere over there is that T52. And I've just spotted a Wolverine. There he is. And he's just totally oblivious to the fact I'm here. But he has seen me. And one more shot to kill. Yeah, no props. I have to move though, because they know where I am. And there's the T52. So what I'm going to do... Oh, that didn't work. I'm going to try and chase him down if I can now, because I don't want him getting near my Arty. hopefully he'll try to engage me rather than going after the Arty, give the Arty a chance, and at last we get the sound back. And unfortunately he is going after the Arty. There he is, and one shot's all it takes, and he's out the game. So, 2 kills, and there's only 5 enemy left, 3 Arty, a tank destroyer, which is Super Hellcat, and a T-34-85. Now I'm actually going up the hill, which probably not the best idea. Yeah, I suddenly realised that actually, not the best idea. In fact, actually, from what we know, the T-34-85 is somewhere near the top of the hill on the enemy side in the B row, but it looks like all our tanks up on top of the hill died, or up in the north, and so did theirs. And there's the T-34-85, so it's a good job I did go up this direction, because there he was. If I tried to go up the other side, he would have had clean shots at me. And now I'm highlighting him. Obviously, Arty are going to have a go, because it's the only enemy tank that they can see at the moment. Locked on. First round in. He'll probably try to fire back, and oh, the Super Hellcat's here. And I ricochet off a Super Hellcat. No armour. Okay, I just came right up on him. Lock onto his ass. Chase him down. He's not going to like this. 85mm rounds do a whole lot of damage. And unfortunately, he turns on me. And he manages to get by me. Which is unfortunate, and puts a 90mm round into me. But the T-34 does the same. So yet again, I've died in the SU-85. But the Super Hellcat is taking a lot of damage. That's my Arty. Obviously trying to get the guy. Okay, the Super Hellcat's the last one alive. We're now looking at the M12, who's gone up the hill. And there's the enemy Griller. They're looking for the Super Hellcat. The T-34-85 was taken out, so the M12 is now trying to target the Griller, and the Super Hellcat's in sight. And there he goes. The heavy tank number 6 got him, which just leaves one enemy left, the Gorilla. And there's an Arty round going in from the Bishop, who's also moved further down the valley. So these guys both know that P in SPG stands for propelled, and another round in from the Bishop. The AMX 12 tons actually moving in the direction of the Gorilla. Oh, and that was a shot from the AMX 12 ton, taking out the Gorilla and ending the game in our favour. So even though I didn't survive in both battles, I still had a good game. Now let's have a look at the end of battle stats, and you'll see which game was played first and which one was played second. Well, this was the first game, and you can see I managed to get a first class tanker. And it's the first time I've had a first class tanker on this account. This is my NA account. I also got a Reaper badge for taking out consecutive enemies with consecutive shots. And also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. I got 5, just one short of getting a Top Gun. A Master Gunner for getting 5 armor penetrating shots in a row. And a Fire effect for doing more damage than the hit points of my own vehicle. My win rate was 11,317, which is Super Unicum and a bit more. And that was quite a fun battle actually. If we look at the team score, we can see that I managed to get 2,042 hit points of damage. I did get the least 20%, but who beat me? Yes, the IKV-65-2, the tank destroyer I took out. He got the high caliber for 2,437. So he obviously got more damage than I did, just a little bit more. And he only got 4 kills. But I got more kills than him, but he still got more damage, which meant that he took home a high caliber, and of course that means he'll get the Courageous Resistance award for his efforts on that occasion. So I had the highest number of kills in the game, and when it came to base XP, yes, I've got the highest on that as well. Detail report, 21 shots, 17 direct hits, 14 penetrations. The 85mm gun is really good, and so long as you actually aim it and not too hasty, yes, you can get accurate shots. And you can see I did 2042 hit points of damage, and about half of that was done at more than half was done at long range. I received 3 hits, 1 penetration, 1 non-penetration, 2 hits by way of splash, but I was taken out of the game, unfortunately, by the enemy M44. I don't blame him for it, because yes, he could, and he did very well to get me, and it was a snapshot, and well done to him for doing it. I earned 29,867 credits from that game, got 25 bonds for completing a mission, and took away 6,075 experience points altogether. If we look at the second game, we can see that that one, on a different account, was an ace tanker, and a first ace tanker in the SU-85. I also managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to my own vehicle, and a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. I got 5 exactly. Win 8 was slightly lower, even though this was an ace tanker. Isn't that surprising? I did slightly less on the win 8, so 5777 on this account, but it was still an ace. Now let's have a look at team score and see how it works out. I did less damage on this account, so I think what that actually indicates is that the level of damage on the NA server is higher than on the EU server. So you can get an ace with 1,611 hit points of damage on the EU, but on the American server, you have to do a lot more than 2,000 if you're going to get an ace tanker. So obviously, the players on the NA server are much better at this tank destroyer than the EU server players are. I didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the Super Hellcat. He got a high caliber for 2,348 hit points. He was the guy who actually got the kill, I think, on me. I think it was the kill on me. But I tried to chase him down, tried to shoot him in the ass as I was going. Our AMX 12 ton, he got a Pascucci's because he killed 2 enemy Arty. And he got the highest damage on my team with 1,815. Second highest damage overall. I got the 3rd highest damage. When it came to kills, though, it was shared between the AMX 12 ton, the heavy tank number 6, and the M44 on the enemy team. 4 kills each. 3 kills to the T-34-85 on their team. He put a round into me, and I managed to get 2 kills along with Cromwell and the enemy Gorilla. And when it came to base XP, it was the 12 ton again. He got 976. I only got 807 from that one. And 721 went to the Cromwell. Fired 17 rounds in this game. Fewer rounds, but also fewer hits as well. 11 direct hits, 10 penetrations, and damage of 1,611 hit points. Of this one, only 1/3 of the rounds were fired, or less than a third, were fired at long range. Most of them were fired at close range. I received 2 hits, 1 penetration, and 1 hits by way of splash, but it was enough to take me out because it was a 90mm gun. And I earned 80,719 credits from this one, but I did get a 50,000 for completing a mission, so technically I suppose that'd be 30,719 credits. And after XP was 2,421 to take away, so not a bad game. Not a fantastic result in terms of me not surviving the game, but at least I did my bit and I got an ace tanker out of it. Now you can see the actual dates. This was the first one. The second game was, in fact, the first one. That was carried out late in the night on 22 minutes past midnight on the 18th of October. And if we go back to the other game, you can see that one was at lunchtime the next day. Same day, but lunchtime on the NA server. So I think what this tells us is, if you're an NA player, you've got to really work your SU-85 if you're going to get good results. Because even if you do the amount of damage I did in this one, you're only going to end up with the first class. Whereas if you do it on the EU server, you're going to be an ace tanker. So that's an interesting snippet. The SU-85 is a tank destroyer I rather like. Obviously, I think I do get good results out of it. In fact, I tend to get good results with quite a few of the tank destroyers. But that's because I'm sneaky. I sit at the back and watch what the enemy is doing and then put holes in them. And yeah, I do enjoy it, actually. I must admit, I haven't played that much in the way of tank destroyers over the past, over the years that I've been in the game. I've spent most of my time playing Arty because I absolutely adore playing Arty. But it's interesting that you get good results with a TD if you play it right. And yeah, I did enjoy this one. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give this these videos, please give them a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and thank you for watching.